Switch locked against Trevenant is not where Swampert wants to be. We are going to allow it to go down and put all our faith in a 2-shielded Beedrill. We are going to shield up the Shadow Ball, commit to the farm down, and it's just a bear trap in the back. You already know, no baits. On this channel, we go straight for the drill run. The opponent shields it up. Are they at the back-to-back? I fucking think not. We make the drill run, and that's going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. So, welcome back to the home of Shadow Pokemon. It's been a while, right? About 2 weeks without an upload. I went on holiday for a week and I managed to get really ill. That's also why my voice is still quite husky. But, fuck it. We're back and we're back at it. I've only done 11 sets in 2 weeks. I started at 2380 ELO and we're now at the 2700s. I did 5 sets with my signature team. Beedrill, Swampert, Sableye. The meta can change as much as you want. Whatever the basic bitches want to run, these line of 3 cover each other beautifully, and they're always just going to keep winning. We've also got a Lapras team as well, but without any further ado, let's get into today's battles. And in game 1, we see the mighty Blue Mouse in the lead. Beedrill absolutely loves to see it. We land the drill run, the opponent farms up to what could be a Hydro Pump, but I absolutely dare the opponent to Hydro Pump me, and I thought not. We leave on minimal HP. I see what comes in, one Fire Spin, takes us out. That's unfortunate. Evidently, my rust is starting to show. The opponent switches out into Venusaur, and rather than spamming out the switch, I'm just going to stay in with Sableye. The opponent shields the first one with the energy lead. They have given us this game should be over. We're going to shield up absolutely everything, and likewise, the opponent is probably going to do the same. The second foul play should draw the final shield, which it does. We're already at the next foul play. I'm just going to shield this up. Look to over farm just a touch, but there's no real point, to be honest. The Swampert is going to send the goat, as Zyonic says, back to its Pokeball. Shout out Zyonic. There's only one goat in the Great League, and you're about to find out who it is. Marowak fires off the Shadow Bone. Swampert absolutely laughs at it, and the goat status is confirmed. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we lead Beedrill into Walrus. Walruses should be extinct, but clearly this opponent still thinks he's in Season 11. We're going for the X-Scissor. It's just going to be a straight X-Scissor in this matchup. The opponent shields the first. I'm not even going to bother shielding. Beedrill does survive one. Can we make the second? We simultaneously swap. The opponent switches out into Marowak, and I answer with Sableye. I imagine this is going to be double ghost, so I'm just going to 2-shield, completely commit to the Shadow Claw farm down, and we are going to leave absolutely loaded. There's absolutely nothing the opponent can do against this Sableye so far ahead on energy. The Walrus isn't at a charge move yet, so we are going to fire off the first foul play. The opponent makes a huge blunder, shielding it up. They're going to lose CMP, and Sableye is going to take out the big fat Walrus, and in the back, it is Nidoqueen. So evidently, my prediction of double ghost was pretty bad, but either way, Sableye going on an absolute tear up. I switch out into Swampert. The opponent is going to fire off an Earth Power, but that isn't going to be enough to take out the mighty Shadow Swampert. We make the Hydro Cannon, and once again, that's all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next one, we see Public Enemy, number 1 Wallface in the lead. We instant swap into Sableye. They answer with Shadow Vic. Fuck my life. This is probably Grasshole. You absolutely hate to see it, as Swampert isn't going to be able to get a line onto the Bastiodon. Victory Bell burns a shield. We are going to wait out our full timer. We really need Swampert to hard carry. The opponent is going to fire for a charge move. Beedrill fears absolutely nothing. They go for an Acid Spray. I do stop attacking for a second to allow my switch timer to pop up. We're going to fire for Drill Run at this Wallface. Wallface shows no respect. Bastiodon is pretty low, and in the back, it is Sableye. Swampert with 2 shields, as always. Hopefully, I don't know, as it's been a while since I've played, should do goat things. Who's worried? Obviously not me, because the first Hydro Cannon lands for big damage at this stage. Now I'm just going to double shield and commit to the Mudshot farm down Sableye. Desperately trying to get my 2 shields, but what is that going to do for you, Mr. Opponent? Absolutely nothing. We leave with the Hydro Cannon. First Hydro Cannon draws the shield, but guess what, Wallface? Have another one. GG's, and thanks for playing. The funny thing with Pokemon Go PvP is it's essentially a game of repetition. After 9 days off, I did feel super rusty, but credit to this team as it was still picking up big dubs. Moving on into this next battle, we saw Galarian Stunfisk in the lead. Beedrill not particularly keen on that matchup. I answered with a Sableye safe switch, and we are met with a Jumpluff. We've got a shield with the first foul play. Second foul play lands, and you see there the rank 1 IVs tank the acrobatics like a champ. And this is now where Beedrill is the most lethal. when you come in and farm something down for energy, then bad matchups like Bastiodon and Stunfisk become a lot more playable ahead on energy. The opponent is going to come back in to the Stunfisk and stay in school, kids. Learn to count. We're going to catch the Rock Slide on our Swampert. And let's see what the opponent has in the back. It's Trevenant. Things are looking pretty fucking grim. They fire off the Seed Bomb. Immediately, they got a 0-turn switch because obviously I should have made the charge move first. Thank you fucking very much, Niantic. I enjoyed my 9 days off and now I'm already getting pretty fucking pissed off. But things might look bleak, but we've still got a sliver of hope. I go for the X-Scissor and an undercharge. We leave with quite a lot of energy, but we're running out of HP. I'm going straight for the drill run. The opponent calls the bait and we are not baiting. We need to make back-to-back moves. They're pretty much in X's range now, but do we survive the remaining mud shots? They're on 1 HP, or we're actually on 1 HP, and a dream. Is this next mud shot gonna take us out? We die 1 mud shot short, but pretty good effort if I do say so myself. Moving on to the next one. We see Shadow Swampert in the lead. I instant swap into Sableye and we are hard punished with an Obstagoon. We are going straight for the Power Gem. Power Gem is some nice coverage here. You can see Shadow Sableye hits super hard. Shout out to Callum on Toast, who's also been using Shadow Sableye recently. I hope more members of the community finally give this Pokemon a chance. But obviously in this matchup, I did get absolutely fucking wrecked. I'm now going to come in to my Beedrill and look to commit to the Poison Jab farm down. Obstagoon fires off a Night Slash. Can we Poison Jab down before the second? Yes, we can. Let's see what the opponent wants to do. I see a Fire type come in, so I instant swap into my own Swampert. The opponent is stuck in that really long 5-turn animation, so we're now far ahead on energy. Well, more to the point, we've caught up on energy as the opponent threw 2 mud shots before they switched out. So it is going to be down to CMP. I am going to undercharge in case the opponent wants the 2 shield. Third Typhlosion, they do not. So I am going to fire off the second Hydro Cannon. The opponent does shield it up and it's going to be down to who wins. CMP and my 2 attack as per fucking usual. Loses CMP, can Beedrill. Close this game strong. The opponent brings back out Typhlosion. I throw 1 Poison Jab and the drill run. High Typhlosion, by Typhlosion. Back out comes Shadow Swampert and Shadow Beedrill cleaning house in the end. GG's and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, I see my first ever Toxapex. Well, let's see if this thing is any fucking good. The opponent instant swaps into Sableye, so we are going to chip and dip. We fire off the X-Scissor. The opponent doesn't shield it up, so we come in to our own Shadow Sableye. We are going to shield once. Look to commit to the Shadow Claw farm down. We now leave loaded, full of energy. If they bring back the Toxapex, this isn't a great matchup for them either. So I imagine the opponent will bring their third, and that is exactly what they do. I see Scrafty come in. We fire off the Power Gem. Yes, that is resisted, but Power Gem is better DPE. In this matchup, Power Gems are going to start adding up. The opponent actually shields the second on a CMP tie. Absolutely best case for myself. They fire off the Power Up Punch. I am getting worried. I am going to get farmed down, so I switch back out into Beedrill. I am going to commit a shield here. We do correctly shield up the foul play. I am going to fire off an X-Scissor just before they get to the next move. X-Scissor draws a shield from the opponent. That is a mistake because we land the next X-Scissor on a CMP tie to the next foul play. See you later, Scrafty. Back out comes the Toxapex. Can we make the drill run? Yes, we can drill run with non-stab. How much is this going to do to the new meta bulky monster? A respectable amount of damage. The opponent doesn't even commit to the farm down. They fire off a Brine. What the heck is Brine? Some sort of garbage move. In comes Swampert, and this Hydro Cannon, even though it is resisted, is going to be enough to return this Mon to its Pokeball. So first sighting of Toxapex. Not very impressed. Moving on to the next one. We see the pesky tree in the lead. I always fire off on 6 because Beedrill does lose CMP. The opponent shields up. The X-Scissor, as always, my huge cojones are going to call the bait, and this madman actually throws a Shadow Ball. Fair play to you, Mr. Opponent. You're about the first person, or maybe the second, that's ever actually Shadow Ball Beedrill. The opponent fires off the Seed Bomb. I know it was a Seed Bomb, but I do want to keep some health on my Sableye. They now come in to Alterian. Holy crap, things have gone from bad to worse. The opponent looks to catch a foul play onto Stunfisk. I react super quickly. I am going to fire off on a CMP tie to the Earthquake. The opponent lets it go. I usually always call the bait, but this opponent Shadow Balled my Beedrill, so I correctly shield up the Earthquake. We commit to the Mudshot farm down, back out comes Altaria, and we are going to fire off the Sludge Wave. Sludge Wave goes unshielded, and the opponent effectively concedes the match. Shout out my faction teammate, Homeslice Henry. Moving on to the next battle, we see Metachan in the lead. I am going to fire for Drill Run on a CMP tie to what could be a potential Psychic. As always, I hardly ever get Psychic, but fuck my life. Another person throws the nuke. What is going on today? So we can come in now with Sableye. The opponent builds up only to fire. This is a power-up punch. We are going to commit to the Shadow Claw farm down. We've got shield advantage and a loaded Sableye. What does the opponent have in the back? It's a Lowland Ninetales, so we're going to go straight for the Power Gem. Power Gem goes unshielded, come in to Swampert, and it is Sableye in the back. We've already seen Swampert up 2 shields, winning this matchup. I think it is pretty IV dependent. If they've got a really XL Sableye, they do survive the Hydro Cannons and the Mud Shots. Let's see what the IVs are on this Pokemon. Once again, the opponent doesn't tank the Hydro Cannon particularly well. Once again, I am going to shield this up. We do manage to get the Mud Shot farm down, back out. Comes Ninetales. I'm at the back-to-back. Do we survive? 1 charm. Yes, we do. Swampert says, hi, Ninetales. Bye, Ninetales. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we see Beedrill into Registeel. Not a bad matchup, with 2 better responses in the back. I switch out into Sableye. The opponent looks to throw a move and dip, so I imagine they haven't got a great answer for Sableye, but my god, am I wrong. We're almost at the back-to-back foul plays. I am going to fire off the first one. It does a decent bit of chip damage. I've once again built up to the Power Gem, really hoping to draw a shield from the opponent, and holy crap, this opponent has bigger balls than myself. And I absolutely hate to see that I am going to lose switch advantage. I really would have loved to put Swampert on that Registeel. We can now come in with Beedrill, commit to the Poison Jab, farm down, back out. Comes the Tin Can, and I'm going to look to catch a Zap Cannon on Swampert, because that is the sort of player that I am. We land the Drill Run. Stay in school, kids. Learn to count. We do catch the Zap on Swampert. What is that final Pokemon? And it is a Sableye. Despite Zap Cannon being resisted, it did massive damage, and we are now in huge danger of getting Shadow Clawed farm down. We are going to get both shields off the opponent, but Mud Shot really isn't doing any fast move pressure. We do get taken out. This Sableye is loaded. We are going to have to shield up. Whatever they throw the foul play. We need this Drill Run to hit like an earthquake, but you're going to see it's not going to do enough damage. The opponent is now at the next foul play, and that's going to be a good game. GG's to the opponent. So you can see in that battle I had 2 opportunities to fire off the Power Gem. I did not, and that is why I usually say no baits on this channel. But after 9 days off, we are going to be somewhat rusty. Moving on into the next one, we see Obstagoon in the lead. I did look to CMP tie the opponent, but they actually farmed up 1 past the Night Slash. They throw an Obstruct to lower Beedrill's defense. They now come in to a Water Gun Lantern, and I'm still going to fire for Drill Run. Either way, does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. Holy crap, that did huge damage to a bulky Pokemon. I now bring in my own Sableye. We tank the Surf. We are going to commit to the Shadow Claw, farm down, back out. Comes Obstagoon. I am going to fire off a foul play. Even resisted, this is going to be enough to take care of the Goon. What do they have in the back? It's Toxicroak, so we're just going to get as much Shadow Claw damage off as possible. We are going to fire off 1 foul play, knowing the opponent has no choice but to shield it up. The opponent does commit to the counter farm down. I come back in to Beedrill just to get the opponent to dump some energy. And from here, it should be pretty plain sailing for a 2-shielded Shadow Swampert. You can see the Mud Shots are really starting to add up. I'm just going to shield absolutely everything. I don't even think I'm going to bother throwing a charge move. We sneak another Mud Shot. I'm at the back-to-back Hydro Cannons, but that is going to waste time. So I'm just going to commit to the Mud Shot, farm down. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next one, we see Jellicent in the lead. Not really what we are looking for, but we're going to go straight for a Drill Run. I can't really switch out. A Swampert doesn't want to see this either. The opponent is going to need to Shadow Ball to take us out, but the opponent goes for the Bubble Beam. Thank you very much. We are now just going to chip them with an X-Scissor because we are going to get outpaced to the next move, and the opponent actually shields on a CMP. Brilliant for us. This should be a terrible matchup, but it's actually turned out to not be that bad. Can we make 1 more X-Scissor? Yes, we can. Mr. Opponent, what the heck are you doing? They actually committed 1 shield. We committed none, and somehow we've actually won that battle. Fuck my life. That was a very bizarre opening matchup. The opponent's got a boatload of energy. I shield up, respecting the foul play, and obviously they go for a power-up punch. This is just another power-up punch. We are going to tank it. We're at the back-to-back Hydro Cannons. Scrafty is pretty much in Hydro Cannon range now. They actually let it go. I now come in to Sableye once again. This is just a power-up punch. The opponent loves to spam out pups apparently. And in the back, it is Nidoqueen, and this game should be over. We are going to fire off the foul play. Foul play will almost knock out from this range. The opponent doesn't even get to another move, and that's all she wrote. Moving on to the next one. We see the bear trap in the lead, so as always, we say switch into Sableye. The opponent answers with a Zoomerall. This is where you'd like to have a return, but Power Gem still does a respectable amount of damage. Well, it would do if the opponent didn't shield. I've got no intentions of shielding up my Sableye, and the opponent goes for an Ice Beam. Not really the play you are looking for, so Sableye now makes Power Gem number 2. Azumarill doesn't even commit to the bubble farm down, scared of us making another foul play, so Sableye has turned a really negative matchup into a pretty positive one. We can now come in to Beedrill. Can we farm down before they make a move? Yes, we can. Beedrill is now loaded. We are going to fire off a drill run at this Stunfisk. Do they respect it? They do not. We now switch out into Swampert, and it is Trevenant in the back. This time the opponent didn't get a 0 turn swap, so we spam out the Hydro Cannon just to get some chip damage off on the opponent. They are now going to take me out with a Seed Bomb, and it's going to be 2 shielded. Shadow Beedrill versus the world. We are going to have to shield up a potential Shadow Ball and then commit to the Poison Jab farm down. We are loaded, full of energy, but the Stunfisk also has some energy. We go straight for the drill run. We aren't baiting. As we've seen earlier in the video, every time I've baited, I've regretted it. So we commit to our win con. We actually go on the CMP tie, so no baits were needed, and Beedrill cleans up in style. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we see Shadow Swampert in the lead. I instant swap into Shadow Sableye. The opponent switches out quite late into their own Sableye, so I imagine it could be Skarmory in the back, so I really need switch advantage. I can't have Beedrill on Skarmory. The opponent matches my shields, but we are ahead on energy. Does the opponent want to shield the next foul play? They do not. We manage to farm down. If Swampert does return, they are going to have to fire off a charge move. They really can't Mudshot farm us down. The opponent does fire off before we get to the next foul play. I'm hard reading that it's Skarmory in the back, so I come back in to Beedrill to use it as a damage sponge. Shadow Beedrill, really not the best damage sponge. We make the drill run on 1 HP and a dream. Does the opponent want to shield it up? Yes, they do. We now switch out into Swampert. It's 1 shielded Swampert versus the world. We are going to shield up the Hydro Cannon. The opponent makes a great catch onto the Skarmory, but guess what? This is where energy management is going to be key. We are going to count to 5 air slashes. We are going to fire off the Hydro Cannon just before the Sky Attack. This is going to take care of Skarmory. Back out comes Swampert, and that's going to be all she wrote. The GOAT always will do GOAT things. Moving on to the next one. We see Shadow Nidoqueen in the lead. I instant swap into Shadow Sableye, and they answer with a Razor Leaf Tropius. Not really what I was expecting to see. Razor Leaf Tropius isn't the worst Razor Leaf users. They are a Leaf Blader, so we only make 1 foul play. The opponent fires off that energy immediately, but this is absolutely beautiful farm for our little bee, as we are going to be able to Poison Jab farm it down before they make another charge move. Let's see what the opponent comes into. It's a Alolan Marowak. We are going straight for a drill run. Drill run lands for big damage. I now switch out into Swampert. Nidoqueen farms up a boatload of energy. I think the only lose con here would be getting earth powered, and the opponent goes for a bait. Fuck my life. But we're at the back-to-back Hydro Cannons. First one draws the shield. We're at Hydro Cannon number 2. Does the opponent want to commit their final shield? Yes, they do. This is probably another Poison Fang, so I'm not going to shield it up, but the opponent actually goes for the Earth Power. Good play on the opponent's part, but we are going to now make a drill run on the CMP to the Poison Fang. Can we make an X-Scissor against Marowak? Yes, we can, and as always, the ever-reliable Beedrill clutches out this game. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we see Sableye in the lead, so I always stay in. You can win the 1 shield if you land a drill run, so I'm going to shield up the foul play. This is one of the few matchups I usually do bait in either way. I think straight X-Scissor isn't a bad play, because if they no shield the first, I'm just going to fire off another X-Scissor on the CMP to the next foul play. It's really easy to CMP heroes as you reach the energy for the drill run. That is when they reach the next foul play. The opponent gives me that shield up, so we do lose the 1 shield. We can now come in with Sableye, commit to the Shadow Claw farm down, and the opponent now brings in a Lola Mola. I don't think I've seen this thing since the Love Cup. Pretty cool pick, pretty good Stunfisk and Bastard on answer. We are going to spam out foul play after foul play. The second foul play draws the final shield from the opponent. We now come in to Swampert. I am going to respect the Hydro Pump or Psychic. It's just a Psychic. The opponent is staying in. They make a fantastic catch, catching a Sludge Wave on Nidoqueen, but it's not going to make any difference because as they get to the Poison Fang, I'm just going to fire off a Hydro Cannon. That's going to be more than enough to take care of Nidoqueen. Back out comes a Lola Mola, and you're going to see Hydro Cannon doesn't care about typings, but fantastic catch to the opponent. GG's. Moving on to the next one. We see another Sableye in the lead. I always let the opponent throw first. I'm going to throw up a shield, and we're going to play it exactly the same as we played the last battle. So I'm going to go for an X-Scissor. Does this opponent want to shield it up? Yes, they do. So you are going to see we're going to make the drill run. And this will allow Beedrill to win the 1 shield. So let's see if the opponent wants to let it go. Yes, they do. They now come in to Skarmory. So I switch out into Sableye. And the opponent once again makes a brilliant catch, catching the foul play on Azumarill. What is going on after a week off? Instead of me making all the catches, all my opponents have been at school and I've been on holiday. But on a more serious note, it's really great to see the level of competition is improving season by season. This is only around 2,500 ELO, and even at this range, the opponents are pretty good. So the opponent did go for an undercharge. I also go for an undercharge, both of us not wanting to give any farm to the opponent, but I do manage to sack the Beedrill, keeping that little bit of health on Sableye. I wait out my timer, bring back out Swampert. We have got 1 shield a piece. It's going to be really important to time my charge moves correctly. So I throw 1 Mud Shot and the Hydro Cannon. This isn't going to be enough to knock out Skarmory. Skarmory does shield it up though. They don't commit to the Brave Bird. We are going to survive the Sky Attack. I throw 1 more Mud Shot and the Hydro Cannon. This isn't going to be enough to knock out, but if my switch timer pops up, which it does, I look to snipe with Sableye. We get the snipe and we snipe Azu, and we manage to take that game. So you can see there the last set was a 5-0. I think that brought me to around 25-40 ELO, and we do actually make 2,700 or something with the next team I will be showcasing, which will be Shadow Lapras. So those were the battles with my signature team. I do think I made a few misplays here and there. I did have 9 days off and I was drunk every single day, so apparently I need to get myself back to school. But as always, huge thank you to all the support I receive on the channel. If you'd like any specific Pokemon showcase, post it in the comment section down below. I'd just like to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.